Welcome to Voice of CA Pakistan, episode 2 with Roshan Mary. So, Roshan, has there ever been a time where your contributions have been overshadowed by your male colleagues? And then, how did you deal with that?
Yes, of course. Invariably, it happened. And again, I'll go back to Ferguson's. So, working in the tax department, it was even now it's tough, and in those days it was tough. But when it would come time for increments or promotions, invariably the men would get more increments and promotions before me. So I would get not very happy. I would get pissed. I said, why am I not getting the increment? And in those days, I still remember I went to the senior partner. Of course, I first spoke to my immediate boss and he said, no, the senior partners decided. So I still very politely, I went to the senior partner and I said, sir, why am I being given the lower increment? Whereas I think performance wise, I'm as good as the other. So what he gave me as an answer really shocked me at that time. And this was a person who was educated in the UK. And he said, but Roshan, you're a girl. Or rather, he said, Roshan, you're a woman. Why do you need that money? And like I stepped back. I said, sorry, sir. You think I'm not a human being just because I'm a woman? I don't deserve the same amount of increment? That is not a good answer. And that sort of, although he gave me that answer, but after that, I started thinking that if on increments, I'm always going to be second, or second below the men, then where am I going? This is not fair. And that sort of motivated me to look for a job in the industry. Because I said, यहाँ पे तो बहुत ही patriarchal है, कोई nobody is going to look after me, or always I'll be the second best. So then luckily at that time, uh, Union Texas, which later on became British Petroleum, they were looking for a chief accountant. And I was doing the tax work. So they knew me. And I went through the full interview process with them, and they gave me an offer. And the offer was such a fantastic offer. It was more than double my current salary. So I just, next day, I submitted my resignation at Ferguson's. And then the senior partner called me and said, why have you resigned? I just showed him my offer letter. I said, sir, if you can match this, then I will stay. But I would like to resign. So he said, oh, we were partnership material and everything. I said, हाँ, बाद में बोलने को तो बहुत अच्छा है partnership material, लेकिन मैंने अपनी, I said, no, sir, thank you very much. अपने दिल में मैं बोल रही थी कि उस टाइम पे तो आपने मुझे कहा कि you're a woman, why do you need it? And अभी मैंने कहा नहीं सर, अभी तो मैंने resign कर दिया, and I'll be more than grateful if you accept my resignation, and I really appreciated working there. So please let me go there. So, one should always know your own worth. Don't let anybody else dictate to you what your worth is.
So, in Union Texas, in your future increments, did you ever encounter this issue?
No. Okay. I'm so glad, because that was an international company. Their processes were very transparent. And in Union Texas, I was there for like almost 25 years at each level. And every year, of course, we had our performance reviews, but they gave me new opportunities. Like first, I was just doing tax work and local work, but then they gave me planning and budgeting, and they helped me grow. That was the best part. They look after, they have processes in place whereby they judge your skills, and they do also rotate responsibilities. Okay, by थोड़े दिन, we could do the HR also, we could do work in legal also, planning, and continuously that opportunity was available. And never did they think that I'm a woman, so I should not be doing that work. And similarly, when finally the opportunity for an expat assignment came up, which was to go to a place like Baku, Azerbaijan. In those days, Azerbaijan was not as developed as it is now. Now, at that time, BP was just starting to set up their oil and gas industry there. And they realized that they didn't have good qualified local workforce. the whole workforce had been under the Russians, and they had not had the education and the experience of an international company. So what BP did was they started picking from their international group of folks expertise which they wanted. So they wanted someone to help them train and set up their accounting department. So the job was sort of advertised, just like multinational companies do. They put it on the web. I saw that job and I applied. And they said, "Are you sure you want to be there?" I said, "Yes." So they interviewed me, and I was first asked to have a look and see visit whether I would like to live there. In those days, Baku was very backward. And in fact, BP had built their own colony because there were no good residences over there. So BP had to build its own colony just for its team. And I saw the colony. I said, yes, I will move there. And they'd also set up their own school for the children. So by that time, my sons had gone abroad for studies, but my daughters were with me, my two daughters. So I said, yes, I will move there. And I took up that opportunity. And I think that was the best decision I took. I was not, you could say, scared or anything, but I went with my children. They got an amazing schooling over there. And I had an amazing experience. I was able to train locals, Azeri locals, to do the accounting function. And within a period of 5 years, like I stayed there for 5 years, I was able to grow a whole team of accountants who could then take over from me. And that was the goal right in the beginning. When I went here, they said, you've got to make sure that after 5 years, they can do the work. So I said, yeah. I trained them in all BP processes. We of course, first selected those individuals. And then we also provided them educational training. Like each of them had to go through the ACCA exams. We paid for their exams. BP paid for their exams. We made sure they studied and then work, understand all the BP processes. And within 5 years, they were ready to take over.
So what important, I believe that, opportunities that come your way, you must avail them rather than being unsure, unconfident about, your whole, your whole career or, to reassess your decisions each time. I think you just sometimes need to jump into
say yes,
yes and say yes and be ready for it. That is very important because women, I feel, are, victims of self-doubt, They're always doubting their abilities, their capabilities. So, this is something, I guess, which just pulls them back and which they need to be aware of and also
because we underestimate ourselves. Men, I've noticed, men will always overestimate themselves. Women will always underestimate themselves. So, women बोलेंगे अच्छा पता नहीं मैं कर सकती नहीं कर सकती ऐसे नहीं कर सकती है नहीं बोलोगे आप नहीं कर सकते कर सकते and when I came back, of course I was at BICO for 2 years, but then another opportunity came at the House of Habib, and that was the CEO of the family office.
That's huge. Yes.
Yeah. So again, when the first time, the boss called me, the late Ali Habib, and he said, would you like to do this work? And the first question I asked him was, but what does the CEO of a family office do? Because frankly, in Pakistan, it is not a common concept. So he explained it to me, high net worth individuals for their families and their extended families, they need professionals to guide them and help them in managing their wealth, estate planning, taxes, everything. So when I heard that, I was a bit overwhelmed. I said, and this is not just Pakistan. This is global. They have family members living in the UAE, in the US, in the UK, all across the world. And to look at their taxation matters, to look at their taxation things.
Yes.
But that again was an amazing opportunity. And I really, really enjoyed my work during that time when I was looking after the family office.
Okay. So, we've spoken about challenges, of working in a male dominated environment. Can you tell me about some successful collaborations that you've had with, the men that you're working with? And, what you gained out of it?
Yes. So in my last job, the CEO of the family office. So again, my late boss said, you see, you have access to each and every individual in this organization. They may not directly report to you, but you can get any kind of support and help from them. So whether it was bankers or the industry heads or the investment advisors or even taxation people, I found that, sometimes I think to myself, maybe it was just my boss's name. Ki bhai, Roshan is phoning. Maybe it's something that Ali Habib has said. But I found them so helpful, so cooperative, because they would always be willing to help, to provide information, and we could interact and collaborate. Now, whether it was technical information, because sometimes I needed something which was technical related, which I didn't know, accounting, tax, banking. So I felt that there was a lot of support and collaboration which I got there. So that was a very positive experience for me.
And that was for the general good of the company.
Of the company, of the individuals, it was more of a win-win situation.
I think it's also, I feel like, it's also putting the other gender at ease. Because, like what I have encountered throughout my life, I feel that, the men, they are somehow not at ease when dealing with women. They think they've come from Mars or someplace. And then, you just need to put them at ease and like, okay, we're just like one of you,
Yes,
And then, as you said, once you start talking business and you have knowledge over the subject, that's when, they feel more comfortable and, in approaching you.
One should always be respectful.
Yes.
That is very important. And one should not come across as threatening, or I would use the word intimidating. One should always be respectful and look for support and cooperation. And that's...
So, Roxy, for women who are making a career, who have not reached the top right now, who are making a career in the corporate world, what communication techniques do you suggest, for them to like have their voice heard? Or if there's something that they want to bring the attention of, like, their bosses to, and they don't want to be like, yeah, exactly, don't want to be targeted that, they're pointing something, or, some deficiency or something in the system or in the policies. They also feel that if they speak out, there might be, repercussions on that. So what communication techniques do you suggest for such women?
So when we use the word speak up or speak out, always remember that one should be respectful. Yes, your voice needs to be heard. Some people will not speak only. So the first step is that, okay, what you're going to say is, first of all, one should never speak in anger, because speaking in anger is not good for anyone, whether it's at home or in the work environment or even in a bazaar. You should not speak in anger. If you feel angry, which is normal, which is natural, I have a tendency of just walking quietly out of the room and, or just not giving an answer at that time. It's better to keep quiet rather than to respond in anger. And then when the environment is more conducive, better, just have a normal discussion and try to highlight what is bothering you. I'll give an example, a very stupid example, but it is there. So when I was in Union, Texas, I was part of the leadership team. And what would happen is that when there were, decisions to be made or discussions, so I was the only lady on the team. So the men would say, oh, Roshan, we are going out for a smoke. We'll just be back. Now, I didn't smoke, so I sat in the room. And when they would come back, they would say, oh, yes, we've decided. Abhi ye karna hai. So ek dafa hua, 2-3 times it happened, and I was quite upset. I said, yeah, they're making decisions without my input, and all they say is we're going out to smoke. So I was upset, and I went to my CEO at that time. He was an American, and I said, sir, I want to discuss one thing with you. I mean, the men on my team, and I'm the only lady, whenever they've got to make decisions, they'll say they're going to have a smoke and they go out and I'm left. Oh, you should tell them that this is not right. So he said, see, Roshan, you've got two options. Either you join them, become a passive smoker, or just think in yourself that all of them will become sick and they will eventually die of some disease. Yeah. So don't get upset about it, but you've got to find your way out. And at the time I said, yeah, that's a very odd answer. He's telling me I should not get upset. But later on I thought, well, either I join them and just become a passive person standing there, or just think to myself, acha yaar, ye log sab bimar ho jayenge. But that was a funny way of looking at it. But
So what did you opt for?
I would join them sometimes. Of course, I won't smoke, but I would just say, yeah, let me come out. I need some fresh air. Okay. So there are many instances in one's life where you will see that men there will be some actions which will kind of upset you. But you've got to understand what's the best way to bring that matter up. And it's very important to speak up, right? It is very important. Generally, one should try and resolve that matter in a nice, amicable manner. But sometimes I'll give another example, which is not of myself, but a young girl which I'd hired in my team as an accountant. She was a gold medalist, right? But she was very young and very smart. And the males in my team, they started kind of coming and saying, oh, she's such a young girl, and does she even know debit and credit? That's exactly what one of her colleagues said, oh, debit or credit bhi aata hai? And I didn't say anything. The next day, I just sent out an email introducing her to the whole team. And I gave a bit of a bio. I said, see, she's a gold medalist from this. These are her qualifications. So, in other words, I was sort of giving them a shut-up call. Here, you can't say that she doesn't know debit and credit. And over time, she proved her worth. She was so good at work that the boys themselves would go and ask her for help. So, one should, in a very nice way, not without being aggressive or the thing, one should sort of tell the other person, yeah, that's not God.
Yeah, to get your point across.
Yes.
Yeah. As you mentioned, being respectful is very important.
See, in our society, the male ego is very fragile. So you've got to be aware of that, right?
Yeah. So Roshan, it was an absolute pleasure, speaking to you this morning. Is there any parting advice, some valuable gems coming from you, for the larger benefit of a fraternity, What would you suggest to especially women, making up a career in accountancy?
I would say this is an amazing career. An accountant or a chartered accountant, you can accomplish so much. And you don't have to put in extraordinary hours. I mean, women become doctors and engineers. But here, as a chartered accountant, it's a 9-to-5 job. Okay, you can do a little bit of late sitting, but nowadays work from home is so easy. And you can accomplish such a lot. You can change your own life. You can improve and grow so tremendously. I mean, there's no gap. You can actually do what you want to do and whatever you dream of. That's the important thing. And even in a country like Pakistan, women can achieve a lot. I mean, of course, in foreign countries, they say they're given opportunities. But I think, my education, my whole life, my schooling, my college, and this institute gave me so much. I qualified from this institute. I didn't go abroad for a qualification. I qualified from this institute. I took jobs over here only. And it gave me the whole world.
Yes. So I believe this institute, it's like our alma mater. It's like the binding force which binds all of us together.
I used to give a lot of time to the institute. I taught taxation. I did exam papers. I checked exam papers. I set exam papers. I did a lot. But then came a time when abhi bas. Nice step back.
You've done your share.
I've done it.
I mean, I think it's very important to give back to the community,
Yeah,
the
that's
fraternity that you're coming
yeah.
from.
Nowadays, I'm giving back to my community. Like I was, the senior citizens. I feel that the senior citizens, even though they spend their whole lifetime looking after their children and educating the children tend to ignore their parents. And that sort of, these days, my attention is focused on that. Okay, how we can make the life of a senior citizens better, especially after 80. I mean, बच्चे से छोड़ के चले जाते हैं and the poor elderly parents, they can't even tell anything to anybody out of shame, out of their self-respect, but they are so neglected. And that is where I feel that maybe now it's time for me to pay attention. And I'll try.
No, this is so awesome. Like, you are giving back to the community at large, because usually people tend to ignore, like, stuff like giving back, helping others, assisting them, which are such important traits that one needs to imbibe, especially when you are in a position to do so.
Yes.
So, like, it was
Alhamdulillah, God has been very kind to me.
Alhamdulillah.
And women should always step up to the mark.
Yes, most definitely. So thank you so much, Roshan. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.